Hello friends, I am Chevee. Welcome to my shed. How are you doing today? How's things in your world? How's life? Thank you for answering me yesterday. I got a few comments from you guys. I love that. I love hearing from you. We used to talk about you sometimes. Need to get back to doing that. I had a bit of a snag. 2018 has started off so much better than 2017 with the new job. You know, that whole fiasco out of my life with well, that's it. Basically, the new job. So I was really hopeful, and then this whole table saw thing, like we're going to buy a table saw, and you guys have been helping me. You've donated quite a bit, and that's been really amazing. And I'm really excited about the possibility of owning an actual table saw, because there's so many projects that I need to complete in here that require the table saw, and I don't want to say that's the only reason that I have been procrastinating, but that's definitely a reason. So I was really excited. I've got a little over half of the money saved up, maybe a little more. We're really close. But then I hit a snag, and that snag is a really weird way that this is all going to play out over the next month. So I start my new job on February the 5th. For those keeping count, that is 2 weeks from now. Well, 2 weeks and like a day or whatever. It's a little ways away, right? So in a few weeks, I will have a new job. And I don't know how any of this works. I'm sorry, I'm distracted. The problem is my current employer pays me in advance. It's a really weird situation because of how our payroll comes through a school district and all that sort of thing. I get paid before I do the work. So my paycheck that I got today is actually my paycheck for the next 2 weeks. So the paycheck that I got today is essentially my last paycheck. And the new job pays behind 2 weeks. So I start the new job on February 5th, and I won't receive my first paycheck from them until March 2nd. So that means I am not going to be collecting a paycheck for the next month. And I got to figure that out. I haven't figured it out yet. I have no clue what we're going to do, but it'll make sense. I know it will. I'll sort it out. I was really hoping that I would be able to go buy the table saw. Probably, I knew it wouldn't happen this weekend because Google likes to pay me kind of behind. They pay on the 19th usually, and it doesn't actually come through until like the 20th or 21st, and since it's the weekend, it's not going to probably come through till Monday or Tuesday. So I was hopeful that next week I could go buy the table saw, and next week we could put it together and start projects. But I have to be very, very, very careful next month to make sure that I can make payments. I have options. I purchased this house through the USDA. That's a thing. Didn't know that. And they're really easy to work with. I can call them up and say, listen, I'm changing jobs. I'm not going to have a paycheck. And they'll say, okay, just don't pay us this month. And I hope that the past history I've had with payment problems with them will not negate that option, because that's $800 or so that I have to scramble and figure out how to pay. I have a little bit of carryover from last month, so I'll have some cash for that. But I might have to use this YouTube payment to help cover the gap instead of buying a table saw, which means I just have to save longer, which isn't a huge deal. It's just a bummer. I was really looking forward to having it for the winter, because I really like to spend time in here when I can't really spend time outside. Oh well. That being said, the 3D printer is running right now. I've been working on models. Today I received, what did I receive today? Something else for the project. I don't remember. and I've been working on this little tiny switch. The problem is, so right now I'm printing like a medium fine print just for prototyping purposes, and once I have that sorted, then I will print an actual like high quality print. So the problem that I'm having though is this is going to be a very small light. It's going to be cell phone sized. So 110 mil is probably about that by about 60 or 80 mil, something like this. So it's going to be cell phone sized, similar thickness. It'll be about a ½ inch thick actually, because I have to fit a battery pack in there. But so it's going to be thicker than it needs to be, but that's just the sake of I don't have a source of flat lithium batteries that is affordable. So I'm working with extremely tiny components like this little super tiny switch. This is I have a whole bag of these. If I ever release the files for this video, then maybe we will I'll sell these switches for $1 or something instead of you having to buy a whole bag of them. But this little tiny switch will be what turns the light on and off, and I wanted to make a button cap, which is just a little square of plastic that will stick through the side of the case, and right? And so the button cap fits over the end of the switch like that, and now you have an on-off switch. That's the plan. That's what I hope to do. Anyway, but when you're working with 3D printing is actually very accurate, but it's not, the measurements are never what you expect. So I go in the software, I take my calipers, I take my digital measuring device, and I measure the tip of this little guy here, and it tells me this is 2 millimeters by 3 millimeters, okay? And I plug that into my software, and I model this thing, and then I model this little guy here, and I make that whole 2 millimeters by 3 millimeters, and it's never quite right. It's always, because of the variances in the printer, because of the variances in the software that you use to actually tell the printer how to print this thing, that hole is never going to be exactly right. Now, I can get it dialed in once I know. So what you typically do is you print like a 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter cube, you measure it, you see how far off it is, and then you can adjust your designs accordingly. Like I might need to scale this by, you know, 1/10 of a percent or 1/10 of a 1/10 of a percent to get it accurate. So I'm working on that because I haven't done anything with super fine details like this before. This hole is actually a little too tight, so I had to remodel it just slightly. I added like a 1/2 of a 1/10 of a millimeter to the size of that hole just to open it up a little bit, and that's a really good snug fit. I'll put a little glue on it when it goes in the actual device. But, you know, these are all the little processes that go into learning how to model, learning how to 3D print, learning how to make something. And I'm having fun doing it, though. So the printer's running. Hopefully we'll be able to put this project out soon. Might not be this weekend. Keely's coming over tonight, and we're going to play video games and hang out and be besties. And who knows what the rest of the weekend will bring. She told me last week, she broke my heart last week and said, Daddy, I want to make a bench, and I want to make it with arm rests. Like, I want to make it like the things you made for Aunt Penny, because when I grow up, I want to make things like you. And that really was like, yes, let's do this. So I got a lot of work ahead of me with that one, teaching her how to do all of this. And it's going to be a blast. So thank you for being here as always. Oh, I can't leave yet. We got a postcard. It's been so long since we got a postcard. We got a postcard from Maui Chris. It says, hey, Chevee, I hope this finds you well. Just wanted to wish you a happy new year. May 2018 be the best year yet. And he put a little thing down here that says, Go Giants. I guess that's the Giants Stadium. I guess he's a Giants fan. Because, you know, there's no football team in Hawaii. Thank you, Chris. I really do appreciate it. I need to get back to cataloging the postcards. I have pictures of all of them. I just need to figure out a place to display them because I'm so proud of the postcards that I've received. If you want to send a postcard, the link is always in the description for my P.O. box. Thank you for being here as always. I will see you Monday-ish.
Hey, Doc, wait! I want to ask you something.
Today's random fact comes from oceanservice.noaa.gov. Do penguins fly? No. Penguins are birds, so they do have wings. However, the wing structures of penguins are evolved for swimming, rather than flying in the traditional sense. Penguins do quote, fly underwater at speeds of up to 15 to 25 miles per hour. As I add up, swimmers, penguins spend a lot of time in the water. That's fast. I want to go fast.